Well, hey there. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you are the parent of a 7th through 12th grader. Not necessarily all of those, but at least one of those. So first of all, thank you for clicking on this video, for clicking this link. If you don't know who I am, my name is Steven. I am the worship leader here at Grace Family Church. And just a few months ago, I was also given the opportunity to oversee our youth ministry 24/7. And let me just say, it has been a whirlwind of 4 months, but it has been an absolute blast as well. There's nothing quite like serving your students. It is a joy and it's a privilege. So I'm glad to be able to do this. Now, if you are the parent of a high school age student, a 9th through 12th grader, or the parent of a student going into high school, that 8th grade age, then you probably have already seen an email from me, a rather lengthy email, might I add. But if you're the parent of a 7th grade student, then you're just kind of being thrown into this mix as well. So welcome. As the email suggests, as the title suggests, this video is all about United Pursuit, our event called United Pursuit. So I want to break this down just a little bit. I'm just going to kind of very quickly answer some of the most important things about this event. Number one, what is this event? Number two, why are we doing this event? And more specifically, why are we doing this event this year? And then lastly, I want to address some of the concerns that I know will be noted about this event, specifically this event this year. So number one, what is United Pursuit? I'm going to just put this in a really simple way. United Pursuit is 3 days, 2 nights with one goal: pursuing God together. So it's 3 days. Those 3 days are going to be April 16th through the 18th. That's a Friday through a Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon-ish. So that's the 3 days. Obviously, that's the 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night. And then we have one goal for this whole thing. That's just to pursue God together. Now, I want to also make this clear. We're also going to have a ton of fun. This is a retreat. This is outside of Port St. Lucie. It's in a small city called Sebring, Florida, about hour and a half away, an hour and a half west. We're going to a venue that's called Camp Sparta. We've been going there for 5 years now. We love working with them. They're such a good group of people who love to serve your students. So we're excited to be back there with them. And there is so much stuff to do there. The kids love just getting away, getting out of the city for a weekend. And the kids just love being able to do all the outdoor activities, to be a part of all the games that they have there. So it's a whole lot of fun. But it's more than that too. It's more than the fun. It's this one goal of pursuing God together intentionally. And so we have seen this over and over and over again throughout the years. There's something special about this event where God meets us, where when we take the effort, when we make the decision to go away and to pursue God for one weekend, we see that God meets us there. That when we seek Him, we find Him, because we've sought Him with all of our hearts. And so we have seen this over and over again, where God meets us, where God changes us, and that He empowers us as we come back home to continue to live for Him, to continue to pursue Him, and to continue to pursue Him together, not just on our own, but as a community. And so that is what United Pursuit is. That's the hope and the goal of this event, is that each person who steps foot at Camp Sparta that weekend, that they would meet the living God. They would have an encounter with Him, that they would be changed by that, radically changed by that, and that they would be empowered as they come home to live for Him. He is worthy of it all. So that is what United Pursuit is. And that's also why we do this event, because there's just something about it. There's just something about going away together. There's just something that God loves to do in this trip. And so we're really excited about that. We've seen the impact of this event, and we're looking forward to the impact of this event again this year. Now, more specifically, I want to answer the question, why this year? Because there's been so much going on this year. There's been so much going on in the world in general, and then there's also been so much going on as a church. So why this year? Why did we decide to go this year? Well, I'll tell you the truth. Originally, I wasn't planning on doing this event. When we made the transition 4 months ago from our previous youth pastor, Bronson, to me, that was one of the last things that me and Bronson talked about. And I just said, I think it's going to be a little bit too much. And then the moment I stepped into this position, overseeing this ministry, the question that I got asked over and over and over and over again, countless times, hey, are we going to do United Pursuit? Hey, when are we going to do United Pursuit? Can we please do United Pursuit? I had one student say, and I quote, I need that weekend. They said those words exactly. I need that weekend. And when I heard those words, when I heard this question being asked over and over and over again, I had to sit down and go, okay, maybe we should do this. And so that's why we're doing it this year. Now, because of that, there are a bunch of different concerns that come up. Because this is not just a normal year. This is not just an ordinary year. Obviously, everything that has been going on with COVID, with a global pandemic, it has made a difference in how we do things, how we do events, especially with a larger group. And it's also made an impact on us economically, financially. And so how do we afford these events? So these are the two main concerns. This is how I wanted to end this. These are the two main concerns that I wanted to address. If we're going to do this event, if we're going to do United Pursuit, then we've got two major things in the way here. We've got finances and we've got COVID. So how do we address these concerns? So first of all, I'll just speak to finances. I know that this might be a little bit difficult for you guys. The cost is going to be $130. $130 is exactly the price that we had last year, but last year was different than this year. And so here's all I really want to say about finances. Please talk to me. We want to make this as feasible to bring your kid to United Pursuit as possible. We want to make that as smooth and as easy as it can be. And so please, if you have multiple kids who want to go, and just pulling out $130 for each student sounds unreasonable, if even just $130 for one kid is hurting for you, just reach out to me. My email is Stephen@GracePSL, Stephen with a PH, so STEPHEN @GracePSL.org. If you send something to Stephen with a V, I will not see it. So Stephen@GracePSL.org, that's my email. And the phone number, you can call the church office, 772-878-2040, and just ask for me. Please talk to me if this is a big hurdle for you. I want to work this with you. And I want to be able to bring your kids. I want to be able to bring your students with us. That's the main reason we're doing this, is to bring kids on board so they can see Jesus. So please talk to me if you have a financial concern. And then the second concern, COVID. This is a big one, especially if we're bringing a large group. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about every little detail about COVID, because we could all make up our own protocols and guidelines, what we think is best. And we all have varying different opinions. But what I've done to kind of make this as simple or as seamless as possible is I've attached a document to the email that this video is in. I attached a document to it. This document, it says two things. It gives you the statement from our venue, Camp Sparta. It gives their official statement and how they are going about dealing with a global pandemic and bringing tenants, occupants in. So that's their policy. And then after that, after you see their policies and their protocols, you will see our guidelines for this event specifically. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out the best way to do this, and so I hope that these guidelines that are outlined, that they don't feel too lackadaisical, because we do want to ensure safety as much as possible, but I also don't want them to feel so restricting that it just doesn't feel like the event at all, or it just doesn't feel like there's any freedom. And so I've attached that document, and so basically I'll just say it like this. We're doing everything we can to ensure safety to the best of our ability during this event. That being said, the goal is that these guidelines would not become the most important part of this event, but that they would be in place and operate as a part of the event so we could focus on what's most important. In other words, if I spend more time talking to your students, talking to your kids during that weekend about COVID, than I do trying to show them Jesus, then I've missed the point. And so we want to ensure safety to the best of our ability, and that's why these protocols are in place. That's why we don't want to just do this event willy-nilly and just act like nothing is happening. That's why these protocols are in place, but at the same time, we don't want the protocols to be the whole thing that United Pursuit is centered around. We want them to be in place and a part of this event, just kind of operating as a part of our event so that we can focus on what's most important, which is seeing Jesus together. So we realize doing any event in COVID, especially as a parent, sending your kid to any event, trusting your kids during this global pandemic, there is an element of risk involved. We understand that, and there's always going to be an element of risk involved here. But what we're hoping is that through these protocols, through the thinking through this and talking through this, is that the hope is that we would minimize the risks to the best of our ability, and then whatever is left, whatever risk is left, that we would bring it to the feet of Jesus, and we would trust him because we know that the risk is worth it. We know that the risk is worth it if our kids see Jesus, if these students see Jesus and lift him up and do it together and find a community, find a home. And so we want to minimize risk as much as possible and then bring the rest to the feet of Jesus and trust him with it because he is worth the risk. So that's all for this video. I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what United Pursuit is, why we're doing it specifically this year, and how we are addressing some of the more specific nuances to this year with finances, with a global pandemic. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns at all, if you have any comments, heck, if you have any complaints, talk to me, please. That's all I ask is you reach out to me. Don't be afraid to reach out. My email, again, is Stephen@GracePSL, STEPHEN@GracePSL. Call the church office, 772-878-2040. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to listen to you. I'd love to work through this with you. So that's all for this video. Looking forward to United Pursuit, April 16th through the 18th.